Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapatakalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Saganaragunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganalalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhupya Vacha Patitanam Pavanepyo Vaishnavepyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Shunyavadi Pashacya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances, all
Hare
glory.
Krishna Prabhu, Gaur Shakti Prabhu, Dharmakula, Praise Prabhu.
Haribol. So today we start a new chapter named
Krishna, dear Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances to Krishna Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Gaura Shakti Prabhu Tanda Pram Jai Shri Prabhupada. Who wants to read first? 1 second.
Can I read first, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, can you recite these prayers?
Yeah, I will try.
Yes, Prabhu.
Can you? Attends. I will put it a little more bigger. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva naluttamam devim sarasvatim vyasam tajojayam udit layet. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is, I can't see all the thing. Don't know if it's me. I can't see. Yes, it's better like this. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, and the supermost human being, unto Mother Sarasvati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Shlinvatam Svakata Krishnam Punyashlarvanal Kiltanam Ridi Antastori Yabhadrani Vidunoti Suditsatam. Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is Paramatma, Super Soul, is in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee. Cleans desire for material enjoyment. From the heart of the devotee was developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavata sevayam bhagavatyuttama shlokem bhaktil bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental song, established as a irrevocable fact. Canto Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gora Shakti Prabhu. Okay, you can continue from this part.
Chapter 7, the son of Drona punish. Text 1. Sonaka Vacham. Yeah, thank you. Sonaka Uvacham Nilgate Nalade Suttam Bhagavan Badalayanaham Shluttavam sta abhipretam Tatha kim akalat vibhuhum. Shonaka Shli Shonaka Uvacha said Nilgate having gone Nalade Naladamuni Sutta O Sutta Bhagavan the transcendently powerful Badalayanaha Vedavyas Shluttavan who heard that his abhipletam desire of the mind Tataha thereafter Kim what Akara did he do Vibhuhu the Great. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yeah.
Rishi Shonaka asked, O Sutta, the great and transcendently powerful Vyasadeva heard everything from Sri Narada Muni. So after his departure, what did he do? Purport. In this chapter, the clue of describing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is picked up as Maharaj Parikshit is miraculously saved in the womb of his mother. This was caused by Droni, Ashvatthama, son of Acharya Drona, who killed the 5 sons of Draupadi while they were asleep, for which he was punished by Arjuna. Before commencing the great epic Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Shri Vyasadeva realized the world truth by trance in devotion. I just watched a lecture of Srila Prabhupada about this. It was a Bhagavatam lecture, and he said that actually Ashvatthama wanted to please Dronacharya. He wanted to please him, but actually he displeased him because he killed the child. He killed, the son of Draupadi, the 5, in their sleep, and he didn't like that. Yeah. So I just want you to say that because I just watched that, a few hours ago, and he
Prabhu,
said,
I think
yeah, he didn't like
Gaurashakti
that
Prabhu,
because
Gaurashakti Prabhu,
Dronacharya. Yeah.
a small correction. He wanted to please
Yes, bro.
Duryodhana. He wanted to please Duryodhana, not Dronacharya, by killing
Oh
those
yes,
5.
Duryodhana. Yeah. Because Duryodhana was his spiritual master, right?
Right. Not spiritual master, but he treated him as a friend.
Oh,
Because Prabhupada said he wanted to please his spiritual master. So I'm not sure about who was his
Yes,
spiritual master,
Prabhu.
but the point is, yeah.
Yeah, Praveen Prabhu actually right, Prabhu. Means when this incident happened, Dronacharya was already killed, Prabhu, before killed in battlefield actually. So he's pleasing Duryodhana. Means he tried to please Duryodhana. Duryodhana is like his friend. Means he in a Kaurava side, this Ashwathama. So he's trying to please Duryodhana actually. So that's why he killed all these 5 sons. Means he killed falsely actually. He want to kill 5 Pandavas, but at the night he killed Draupadi's 5 sons actually, bro. He misjudged actually. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And
Prabhu.
the
Yeah.
point is that actually it displeased him because he was a Kshatriya. And Kshatriya had some reverence, like there are some rules, like they don't accept those kind of killing, like you can kill some child. I think it's also you can't kill some old age person, some innocent person also. So that's what I heard, from him.
Yeah,
But
bro.
yeah,
Like,
thank you very much for enlightening me
actually,
about
Prabhu,
that.
there was some rule, Prabhu, that after the sunset you can't fight. Means you can't
Also
attack anyone.
kill.
That is actually against Kshatriya rule, Prabhu.
Yes,
You can't
Prabhu.
do that.
And also you cannot kill.
Mm.
Yes.
Also, you have to fight with equal weapons. If someone falls from his chariot or horse, you have to also go down. And if someone loses his sword, you have to also throw your sword and fight with hands.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
These are
yes,
like
yes.
real, Prabhu, real fighting rule. But nowadays demons they don't care all this, Prabhu.
Yes,
Now they
Prabhu.
attacking middle of the night using drone, Prabhu.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
And I also read that
Download from Prabhu to go off
in
to.
the
That's about.
Dandavat pranam, Suman
oh,
Prabhu.
Hare
Right,
Krishna
right.
Prabhu, please accept my obeisances, O Krishna Prabhupada.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Prabhu. I
also.
also
Prabhu.
Prabhu's please accept my obeisances of Lord Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my obeisances, O Krishna Prabhupada.
Prabhu. And Prasanna Prabhu also joined. So many joined.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Jai Shri Prabhupada. So yes, I was saying that I read also that to be king is to also you have to be filled with the energy of the Lord, and you have to protect all the citizens. So now Prabhupada said in the purport that now the so-called leader, they are just coward. They send some men to do the war, but they
Yes,
are not fighting. They
yes,
just hide. Yeah, they
Yes,
just
Prabhu.
exactly
hide.
as the war of this war, Prabhu, the Israels and Iran, the presidents were sitting safe in the safe houses, and then the what do you call this? The soldiers were actually the ones fighting the war without putting the
Yeah.
master in.
Yes, Prabhu. Now it's just those flying little drones fighting. And if you go outside, you blow up suddenly.
Yes,
Yeah, but this is Korea, So yeah, sorry for that. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
Text 2. Shuta Uvacham. Can you scroll down a little, bro? Thank you very much. Brahmanadyam Salasvatyam Ashlama Pachime Tate Samyak Prasha Iti Proktam Rishinam Satravardhanaham Shutaha Shri Shuta Uvacha said Brahmanadyam on the bank of the river, intimately related with the Veda, Brahmana, saint, and the Lord. Sarasvatyam, Sarasvati, Ashlamaha, cottage for meditation, Paschime on the west, Tate bank, Samya Prasha, the place name Samya Prasha. Ititas Proktaha, said to be Rishinam of the sages, activities. Translation: Shuta said, on the west with the Veda, there is a cottage for meditation at Samyaprasha, with which enlivens the transcendental activities of the sages. Purport: for spiritual advancement of knowledge, a suitable place and atmosphere are definitely required. The place on the western bank of the Saraswati is specially suitable for this purpose, and there is the ashrama of Vyasadeva and at Samaprasa. Srila Vyasadeva was a householder, yet his residential place is called an ashram. An ashram is a place where spiritual culture is always foremost. It does not matter whether the place belongs to a householder or a mendicant. The whole Varnashram system is so designed that each and every status of life is called an ashram. This means that spiritual culture is the common factor for all, the brahmachari, the grihastha, the vanaprastha, and the sannyasi. All belong to the same mission of life. And scroll down a little, bro. Thank you. The vanaprastha, mission of life, namely realization of the supreme. Therefore, none of them are less important as far as spiritual culture is concerned. The difference is in a matter of formality on the strength of renunciation. The sannyasi are held in high estimation on the strength of practical renunciation. Okay. Text 3. Tasmin sva ashlame vyaso baddari sanda mandite asinapa upashprisya pranidatyau mana svayam. Tasmin, in that ashram, sva on ashram, in the cottage, Vyasadev, Badari, very sandy, sanda trees, mandite, surrounded by Hashinaha, Apa, sitting, Upashprisya, touching water, Pranidabdya, concentrated, Manaha, the mind, Swayam, himself. Translation: in that place, Srila Vyasadeva, in his own ashram, which was surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditate after touching water for purification. Purport: under instruction of his spiritual master, Srila Narada Muni, Vyasadeva concentrated his mind in that transcendent place of meditation. I just heard this morning that, trees who bear fruits and flowers, they are pious trees.
Yes, Prabhu.
Just like we have pious, animals also, like cow and pious human being. We have also pious trees.
Yes, Prabhu, and also we have poisonous,
The
envious.
Canto tree. Yeah. So it said that those who bear fruits and fragrant flower, it's like pious.
Yes, Prabhu.
Can I read one more?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you. Text 4. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak planite male apasyat purusham purnam mayam chatta apashrayam. Bhakti, devotional service, yogena, by the process of linking up, manashi, upon the mind, samyak, perfectly, planihite, engage in and fix up on, male, without any matter, apashyat, so, pulusham, the personality of Godhead, purnam, absolute, mayam, energy, cha, also, tat, his, apashlayam, under full control. Translation: thus he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service, bhakti yoga, without any tinge of materialism, and thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead, along with his external energy, which was under full control. Purport: perfect vision of the absolute truth is possible only by the linking process of devotional service. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. One can perfectly realize the absolute truth, absolute true personality of Godhead only by the process of devotional service, and one can enter the into the kingdom of God by such perfect knowledge, in perfect realization of the Absolute by the partial approach of the impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma, does not permit anyone to enter into the kingdom of God. Sri Narada advised Srila Vyasadeva to become absorbed in transcendental meditation on the personality of Godhead and his activity. Srila Vyasadeva did not take notice of the effulgence of Brahman because that is not absolute vision. The absolute vision is the personality of Godhead, as it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. In the Upanishad also, it is confirmed that Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, is covered by golden growing Hilan Mayena Patrena veil of impersonal Brahman. And when that curtain is removed by the mercy of the Lord, the real face of the Absolute is seen. The Absolute is mentioned here as the Purusha or person. The absolute personality of Godhead is mentioned in so many Vedic literature, and in the Bhagavad Gita, the Purusha is confirmed as the eternal and original person. The absolute personality of Godhead is perfect person. The supreme person has manifold energy, and out of which the eternal, external, and marginal energies are specifically important. Yeah. The energy mentioned here is the external energy, as will be clear from the statement of her activities. The internal energy is there along with the absolute person, as the moonlight is there with the moon. The external energy is compared with darkness because it keeps the living entity in the darkness of ignorance. The word Apashlayam suggests that this energy of the Lord is under full control. Your internal potency or superior energy is also called Maya. But it is spiritual Maya, or energy exhibited in the absolute realm. When one is under the shelter of his eternal potency, the darkness of material ignorance is at once dissipated. And even those who are Atmarama or fixed in trance take shelter of this Maya or internal energy. Devotional service or Bhakti Yoga is the function of internal energy. Thus, there is no place for the inferior energy or material energy, just as there is no place for darkness in the effulgence of the spiritual light. Such eternal energy is even superior to the spiritual bliss attainable in the conception of eternal Brahman, impersonal Brahman. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that the impersonal Brahman effulgence is also an emanation from the absolute personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. The Parama Purusha cannot be anyone except Shri Krishna himself, as it will be explained in the later shloka. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for let me read.
Thank you so much, Gora Shakti Prabhu.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyavacha patsitanam bhavanibhyar namo namaha.
Namo Namaha. Okay, text number 5. Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam paropi manutenartham tatkritam chabipadyate. Yaya, by whom sammohita illusion jiva, the living entities, atmanam self, trigunatmakam, conditioned by the three modes of nature or a product of matter, paraha transcendental, api in spite of, manute takes it for granted, anartam things not wanted, tat by that, kritam cha reaction, abhi padyate undergoes thereof. Translation. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries. purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The root cause of suffering by the materialistic living beings is pointed out with remedial measures which are to be undertaken, and also the ultimate perfection to be gained. All this is mentioned in this particular verse. The living being is by constitution transcendental to material engagement, but he is now imprisoned by the external energy, and therefore he thinks himself one of the material products. And due to this unholy contact, the pure spiritual entity suffers material miseries under the modes of material nature. The living entity misunderstands himself to be a material product. This means that the present perverted way of thinking, feeling, and willing under material conditions is not natural for him. But he has his normal way of thinking, feeling, and willing. The living being in his original state is not without thinking, willing, and feeling power. It is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the actual knowledge of the conditioned soul is now covered by nescience. Thus, the theory that the living being is absolute, impersonal, and Brahman is refuted herein. This cannot be because the living entity has his own way of thinking in his original unconditional state also. The present conditional state is due to the influence of the external energy, which means that the illusory energy takes the initiative while the Supreme Lord is aloof. The Lord does not desire that a living being be illusioned by external energy. The external energy is aware of this under illusion by her bewildering influence. The external energy is aware of this fact, but still she accepts a thankless task of keeping the forgotten soul under illusion by her bewildering influence. The Lord does not interfere with the task of the illusory energy, because such performance of the illusory energy are also necessary for reformation of the conditioned soul. An affectionate father does not like his children to be chastised by another agent, yet he puts his disobedient children under the custody of a severe man, just to bring them to order. But the all-affectionate Almighty Father desires at the same time relief for the conditioned soul, relief from the clutches of the illusory energy. The king puts the disobedient citizens within the walls of the jail, but sometimes the king, desiring the prisoners' relief, personally goes there and pleads for reformation, and on doing so the prisoners are set free. Similarly, the Supreme Lord descends from his kingdom upon the kingdom of illusory energy and personally gives relief in the form of the Bhagavad Gita, wherein he personally suggests that the ways of illusory energy are very stiff to overcome. But one who surrenders under the lotus feet of the Lord is set free by the order of the Supreme. This surrendering process is the remedial measure for getting relief from the bewildering ways of the illusory energy. The surrendering process is completed by the influence of association. The Lord has suggested, therefore, that by the influence of the speeches of saintly persons who have actually realized the Supreme, men are engaged in His transcendental loving service. The conditioned soul gets a taste of hearing about the Lord, and by such hearing only, he is gradually elevated to the platform of respect, devotion, and attachment for the Lord. The whole thing is completed by the surrendering process. Herein also the same suggestion is made by the Lord in his incarnation of Vyasadeva. This means that the conditioned soul are being reclaimed by the Lord both ways, namely by the process of punishment by the external energy of the Lord and by himself as the spiritual master within and without. Within the heart of every living being, the Lord himself as the super soul Paramatma becomes the spiritual master, and from without he becomes the spiritual master in the shape of scripture, saints, and initiator spiritual master. This is still more explicitly explained in the next shloka. Personal superintendence of the illusory energy is confirmed in the Vedas, the Kena Upanishad, in relation to the demigods controlling power. Herein also it is clearly stated that the living entity is controlled by the external energy in a personal capacity. The living being thus subject to the control of external energy is differently situated. It is clear, however, from the present statement of Bhagavatam that the external energy is situated in the inferior position before the personality of Godhead or the perfect being. The perfect being or the Lord cannot be approached even by the illusory energy, who can only work on the living entities. Therefore, it is sheer imagination that the Supreme Lord is illusioned by the illusory energy and thus becomes a living being. If the living being and the Lord would have been in the same category, then it would have been quite possible for Vyasadeva to see it, and there would have been no question of material distress on the part of the illusion being because the Supreme Being is fully cognizant. So what is this? If the living being and the Lord would have been in the same category, then it would have been quite possible for Vyasadeva to see it, and there would have been no question of material distress on the part of the illusion being, because the Supreme Being is fully cognizant. So there are so many unscrupulous imaginations on the part of the monists to endeavor to put both the Lord and the living being in the same category. Had it been so, then Srila Sukadev Goswami would not have taken the trouble to describe the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, if they were all manifestation of illusory energy. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, in the Summam Banum, remedy of the suffering humanity in the clutches of Maya. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the Summam Bonum remedy for the suffering humanity in the clutches of Maya. Srila Vyasadeva therefore first of all diagnosed the actual disease of the conditioned souls, i.e., their being illusioned by the external energy. He also saw the perfect Supreme Being, from whom illusory energy is far removed. Though he saw both the diseased conditioned souls and also the cause of the disease, and the remedial measures are suggested in the next verse. Both the Supreme Person of Godhead and the living beings are undoubtedly qualitatively one, but the Lord is the controller of the illusory energy, whereas the living entity is controlled by the illusory energy. Thus the Lord and the living being are simultaneously one and different. Another point is distinct herein, that eternal relation between the Lord and the living being is transcendental. Otherwise the Lord would not have taken the trouble to reclaim the conditioned souls from the clutches of Maya. In the same way, the living entity is also required to revive his natural love and affection for the Lord, and that is the highest perfection of the living entity. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam treats the conditioned soul with an aim to that goal of life. Haribol, who wants to read the next verse?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Can I read?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Yes, so anarthopashamam sakshad bhakti yogam adhokshade lokasya janato vidvams chakre satvata samhitam. Anartha, things which are superfluous. What is superfluous, Prabhu? Unnecessary. Okay, okay, Prabhu. U- Upashmam, mitigation, Sakshat, directly, Bhakti Yogam, the linking process of devotional service, Adhokshaje, unto the transcendence, Lokasya, of the general mass of men, Ajanata, those who are unaware of, Vidwan, the supremely learned, Chakre, compiled, Satvata, in relation with the supreme truth, Samhitam, Vedic literature. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
The material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the supreme truth. Purport. Srila Vyasadeva was all perfect personality of Godhead. The statement suggests that the complete unit of the personality of Godhead includes his parts and parcels also. He saw therefore his different energies, namely the internal energy, the marginal energy, and the external energy. He saw also his different plenary portions and parts of the plenary portions, um, namely his different incarnations also, and he specifically observed the unwanted miseries of the conditioned souls who are bewildered by the external energy. And at last, he saw the remedial measure for the conditioned souls, namely the process of devotional service. It is a great transcendental science and begins with the process of hearing and chanting the name, fame, glory, etc. of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Revival of the dormant affection or a love of Godhead does not depend on the mechanical system of hearing and chanting, but it solely and wholly depends on the causeless mercy of the Lord. When the Lord is fully satisfied with the sincere efforts of the devotee, he may endow him with his loving transcendental service. But even with the prescribed forms of hearing and chanting, there is at once mitigation of the superfluous and unwanted miseries of material existence. Such mitigation of material affection does not wait for development of transcendental knowledge. Rather, knowledge is dependent on devotional service for ultimate realization of the supreme truth. Yasyam vai Shruyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktir Udpadyate Pumsaha Shokamoha Bhayapaha. This Vedic literature, why certainly Shruyamanayam, simply by giving oral reception, Krishna unto Lord Krishna, Parama Supreme Purushe unto the personality of Godhead, Bhakti, the feelings of devotional service, Utpadyate, sprout up, Pumsa of the living being, Shoka, lamentation, Moha, illusion, Bhaya, fearfulness, Apaha, that which extinguishes. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Simply by hearing this Vedic literature, the feelings for loving devotional service of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Purport. There are various senses. There are various senses of which the ear is the most effective. This sense works even when a man. What happened, bro? Even when a man is deep asleep, one can protect himself from the hands of an enemy while awake, but while asleep, one is protected by the ear only. The importance of hearing is mentioned here in connection with attaining the highest perfection of life, namely getting free from three material pangs. Everyone is full of lamentation at every point. He is after the some message. Yeah, he's after the mirage of illusory things and is always afraid of his supposed enemy. These are the primary symptoms of material disease. And it is definitely suggested herein that simply by hearing the message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, one gets attached for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. And as soon as this is affected, the symptoms of the material disease disappear. Srila Vasudev was all perfect personality of Godhead. And in this statement, the all perfect personality of Godhead Shri Krishna is clearly confirmed. The ultimate result of devotional service is to develop genuine love for the Supreme Personality. Love is a word which is often used in relation with man and woman, and love is the only word that can be properly used to indicate the relation between Lord Krishna and the living entities. The living entities are mentioned as Prakriti in the Bhagavad Gita, and in Sanskrit, Prakriti is a feminine object. The Lord is always described as the Param Purush, or the Supreme Male Personality. Thus, the affection between the Lord and the living entities is something like between the male and the female. Therefore, the term love of Godhead is quite appropriate. Loving devotional service of the Lord begins with hearing about the Lord. There is no difference between the Lord and the subject matter heard about him. The Lord is absolute in all respects, and thus there is no difference between him and the subject matter heard about him. Therefore, hearing about him means immediate contact with him by the process of vibration of the transcendental sound. And the transcendental sound is so effective that it acts at once by removing all material affections mentioned above. As mentioned above, a living entity develops a sort of complexity by a material association, and the illusory engagement of the material body is accepted as an actual fact. Under such false complexity, the living beings under different categories of life become illusioned in different ways. Even in the most developed stage of human life, the same illusion prevails in the form of many isms and divide the loving relation with the Lord, and thereby it divides the loving relation between man and man. By hearing the subject matter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, this false complexity of materialism is removed and real peace in society begins, which politicians aspire for so eagerly in so many political situations. The politicians want a peaceful situation between man and nation, but at the same time, because of too much attachment for material domination, there is illusion and fearfulness. Therefore, the politicians' peace conferences cannot bring the peace in society. It can only be done by hearing the subject matter described in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. The foolish politicians may go on holding peace and summit conferences for hundreds of years, but they will fail to achieve success. Until we reach the stage of re-establishing our lost relation with Krishna, the illusion of accepting the body as the self will prevail, and thus fearfulness will also prevail. As for validity of Shri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are hundreds and thousands of evidences from revealed scriptures, and there are hundreds and thousands of evidences from personal experiences of devotees in various places, like Vrindavan, Navadvip, Puri. Even in Kaumari dictionary, the synonyms of Krishna are given as the son of Yashoda and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Param Brahman. The conclusion is that simply by hearing the Vedic literature, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, one can have direct connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, and thereby one can attain the highest perfection of life by transcending worldly miseries, illusion, and fearfulness. These are practical tests for one who has actually given up submissive hearing to the readings of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It is so beautiful text, bro.
Yes, Prabhu.
Actually, Prabhu, can I share some thing like I faced with when preaching?
Yes, Prabhu.
Uh, Actually, Prabhu, like before 4 or 5 months, I was talking to a friend. He was like kind of atheistic and he was not believing. And I again, like, I think you also remember I was asking you some things. I was also confused. But what happened last 3 days before? Again, I talked to him, but now I talk to him with a very proper way. And I had told him the various evidences. Like we were discussing in Peace of Society, AI, it will uprise, and like humans are getting fired up. And he also told like there may be a chance in some year that like all humans will be replaced by AI. Then I was talking with him with various things and all, and I told that like you first see the scientific evidence by reading Bhagavad Gita and some books I have of Prabhupada I can share with you. And he told, yeah, I'm open to reading and all. I just can't blindly believe. I am against that blind believers. And other evidence I shared about that, like self-realization of people who are chanting Hare Krishna and how they have left so many addictions, these that things. So he's like ready and like, yeah, I'm curious, I am interested. And I said, okay, later on I will give you the book. And I'm just asking like which book should I share? Like presently I'm just having that Science of Self-Realization, which I'm reading. Um, I think practical application in modern age, that chapter. So should I, after finishing, give that book, or should I
Yeah,
tell him to read Gita?
yeah, you can give that one. It's a nice book.
Because probably he is a person very curious, like me only. I was also very curious from childhood to know who is the thing which created the whole universe and everything. He's also telling me like this. We want to know various things, quantum mechanics, this, that. So I told him, you just try this also. You are trying from science to who know who is the supreme. You try spiritual also. This is also books written by realized persons. So he kind of agreed. Before he was very against. Because
Okay.
he was telling Prabhu that these scriptures, who believe that these scriptures is given by God only and this that, and I told no, it is given by God. This he wasn't believing. I was making him to prove that. But now, like you just read it out, you will know by yourself. You read, and I will also try to say him that you chant also. That is the best way, like
Yes.
combined with scientific method and also chanting.
Yeah, really nice
Can I
preaching.
read one, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Or he can't realize by only one method if he don't chant.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, this is really nice preaching, Amit Prabhu.
Was
Keep
I
going.
right, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that's the way we should preach.
Yeah, because he talks with me like in for 1 year or more than 1 year. Many times when we get time in the lab, we sit, we talk, we discuss about things. Yeah, and bro, the like last 3 days he was telling that some CEO of the some company he warned that in 2026 or seven, like it won't happen very soon, but yeah, it may happen that all humans will be fired up and they will just replace it with AI, and the person who is the CEO or the founder, he will be the most demoniac person. He will be like
Mm.
gaining every money. Like Prabhupada has told na, like man, what he does, he just picks up whole bag of rice. So he will do the same thing, and we will starve, and
Oh,
that is like next level Kaliyug. That won't happen very soon, but still
okay.
it will be happening. So we just must just surrender to Krishna, and we must do any material work if in Grihastha ashram, and if it is full time, then there is no issue. Like like we must just full 100% surrender to the Lord. Then we should not fear about these things.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, this is true.
Previously, I was also fearing. Okay, bro. Like I should continue. It might take too much time.
Okay, Lebang Prabhu, you can read.
Okay, Prabhu. Sa samhitam bhagavatim kritvanu chatma jam. Is it chatma jam? Sukham adyapa yamasa nirviti niraatam munir. Munir is like a sage, right? Sa
Yes,
that
Prabhu.
Samhitam, Vedic literature, Bhagavatim, in relation with the personality of Godhead, Kritva, having done Kramya, is it Kramya or Karamya? By correlation and repetition, Cha and Atma Jam, his own son, Sukadev Goswami. Oh, I thought it was actually Sukam, like happiness. Sukadev Goswami, Adhyapayamasa, thought, Nirviti, path of self-realization, Niratam, engaged, Muni, the sage, Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: The great sage Vyasadeva, after compiling the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and revising it, taught it to his own son, Sri Sukadev Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization. Purport: Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the natural commentation of the Brahma Sutras compiled by the same author. The Brahma Sutras or Vedanta Sutra is meant for those who are already engaged in the self-realization. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is so made that one becomes at once engaged in the path of self-realization simply by hearing the topics. Although it is especially meant for the Paramhamsas or those who are totally engaged in self-realization, it works into the depths of the heart of those who may be worldly men. Worldly men are all engaged in sense gratification, but even such men will find in this Vedic literature a remedial measure for their material disease. Sukadev Goswami was a liberated soul from the very beginning of his birth, and his father taught him Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Amongst mundane scholars, there is some diversity of opinion as to the date of compilation of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It is, however, certain from the text of the... You can go down, Prabhu. Text of the Bhagavatam. Yeah, that it was compiled before the disappearance of King Parikshit and after the departure of Lord Krishna. So, Prabhu, yeah, the story of King Parikshit, did Kali Yuga come as a demon, like as an entity, or was it just the age time? Because I saw something that Parikshit Maharaj, it said he instructed Kali Yuga to reside where there was, I think it was wine, maybe prostitute, like women, And then I think also he actually inquired that he also want to sit in one place. And then Parikshit Maharaj said gold, like money, And then he actually disturbed King Parikshit Maharaj to think, because his crown was made of gold, And that was where Kali Yuga was, like he was also residing inside the head. And then that's where he placed the snake onto the Muni. And then the child of the Muni cursed Parikshit Maharaj that he will die in 7 days. Was it, Semi Prabhu, would you say what was actually Kali Yuga? Was it time or was it an actual entity?
He's the person. He was dark-skinned man.
Oh, yes, Prabhu.
And Parikshit Maharaj was there, and he was seeing he's cutting the legs of the cow. And
Oh.
see,
Oh, yeah.
So I think he has two forms, like body form also, and after that, like he begged that where I will live. So he gave 3, 4, 5 places where like all sins are happening. So then he, like his bodily form disappeared, and at the end of Kali Yuga again he will gain the power to like come back in body, and I think something
Prabhu,
like
this, yeah, you see when you say that, I remember I heard this thing. I forgot where, that Lord Krishna made demon, like let's say the demons, they cannot gain physical bodies now because we as human beings are actually weak than olden days people, you see. So they cannot gain form. I think there's a time where they're gonna gain form again, like maybe at the end. I'm not sure. Something like that.
maybe Prabhu at the end of Kali Yuga, like the Kali Yuga, like will take the whole form of the body and accumulate all the powers from the all sinful people, and then Lord
Yes.
Kalki will come, and
And
along
I
with
think Kali Yuga told Parikshit Maharaj, you can't get rid of me. It is time. It is time for me. Like it's actual time. Like you will be, if you get rid of me, you will be disturbing, the Lord's, what can I call
yes,
it?
Prabhu, it is Yuga actually. It is Kali Yuga. It is meant to come. So he was asking, I am meant to come. So how can you stop me? Please give me some places to live. So then he
Yeah,
gave the
yeah.
that Vaishyalaya, then gold and cutting off
I think women,
animals,
wine, yeah. I
slaughterhouses.
forgot the other one. Besides women, wine, and gold, I forgot one. I think there's other one. But it cannot be meat because people in those times did not eat meat actually. I'm sure maybe in the times of ceremonies only.
Maybe now he's existing in that also. But it's slaughterhouse, I think he told
Oh, yes, Prabhu.
Parikshit Maharaj.
These places, gambling, intoxication, the gold and money, and also the woman.
Slaughterhouse?
And yes, Prabhu, here's the slaughter.
I think maybe he will,
Violence.
Prabhu, he will recite in meat if you eat it. You know, if you eat it without the right ceremony, you know, without the correct rituals, because we actually lost those rituals. We don't know the correct way to do rituals to eat meat or drink wine, things like that.
Yes, they're Kali personified this. There's many forms. Just
Demoniac person should think these things, Prabhu. We should think how to make Krishna Prasadam.
But then, you know, Prabhu, the difference between people who are demoniac in this lifetime now and in those olden times, in the olden times, they actually used to pray, like, let's say, to Lord Brahma, to Lord Shiva, you know, they used to do
Yes,
tapasya.
Prabhu. Yes, they were
Unlike us,
way better
we
than
tend
this
to be
present day
demoniac
demoniac
because
people.
we tend to be demons because we choose, what do you call this, atheistic. You know, we become atheistic. We don't believe in any God. But then they knew that God existed, you know. It's just that many were envious
Maybe,
of
Prabhu.
Vishnu, the
yes,
Vishnu
Prabhu,
form.
But maybe, Prabhu, they were too jealous of the God.
same thing
Like,
is
he's
going
not
on.
God, he's just a
No, they
person.
actually
I will challenge Vishnu.
going on, but they keep as demigod someone higher, like your boss or someone like this. So they
Yes,
worship
Prabhu.
someone who is stronger man. So that's
Yes,
kind of
yes,
demigod
Prabhu.
worship also. They don't know about some higher beings, but they worship the highest being they know about. Someone
Oh,
worships
yes.
someone worships Elon Musk, all these Ronaldo and all these guys they worship.
I know.
So
Yes,
that's
yes. Like the Hitlers.
yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, one thing I'm like little confused that these demons they worship Shiva and Brahma and gain boon and like I will never die, these that various their concocted things. Why not they ever pray and like meditate on Lord Vishnu and like ask everything from him?
Because Prabhu, I think Lord Vishnu will never allow you to do demoniac things, you know, like you cannot pray to Lord Vishnu to say, I want
Yes,
to kill
Prabhu, but
someone.
still, Prabhu, if the demons they are having a mindset that they are being like removed from everywhere, they want that justice, everything. Like Ravan actually thought maybe that his brother Kuber is getting everything. I'm not getting anything. So why let me pray to Lord Vishnu? He will look after me. He
Oh,
will give the best for me. Ultimately, he will give devotion to him.
Prabhu, he
Prabhu,
went
is Kubera the one that who was huge? Is it that one?
he
The
went to
huge
his
form.
wife.
Sorry, Prabhu.
What, Prabhu?
How can he pray to Lord Ram when he's trying to steal his wife?
No, Prabhu, not that
Yeah,
time
actually, you know what, Prabhu?
when he
They
was like
actually,
just
the demons,
younger.
Yeah, but
Amit
he's
Prabhu.
if you have too much lust in your heart, how can you pray to Lord Krishna or Lord Ram? You cannot.
You can't, Prabhu. Because look, Amit Prabhu, they're actually
Yes,
jealous
Prabhu.
of Lord Vishnu because usually Ravan, they say he was the strongest in the three lokas. Ne? But
Yeah.
then Lord Ram was the creator of the three lokas. So it is impossible for you to be the strongest than the creator of things, you know?
Yes,
So
when
they
they
actually
don't
get
really,
jealous.
yes, Prabhu, and they don't really accept that Vishnu is strongest. Because you know,
Yeah,
Hiranyakashipu was praying to Lord Brahma because he thought that Lord Brahma is, the highest. He
yeah,
thought
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
that's why he was praying. He thought
Maybe,
that
Prabhu, they want to give competition to Lord Vishnu and
yes,
steal his
Prabhu.
position as creator, and like they don't think him as God even.
Yes,
Might be some
Prabhu.
Yes.
powerful, yeah.
But it's all like
And
play. It's all play under Maya because if you're not the devotee, you cannot fight with Lord Vishnu or Krishna. You cannot fight with them if you're not devotee. You have to be devotee. So that's how we know that it's a play only.
oh,
Even in devotee,
and
Prabhu, still like we can't win over him, like by like this fighting. But yeah, with fighting of love, obviously we can win.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, Lebang Prabhu, please continue this purport to the end.
Haribo. When Parikshit Maharaj the world as was ruling the world as the king of Bharat Varsha. He chastised the personality of Kali according to revealed scriptures and astrological calculation. The age of Kali is in its 5,000th year. Therefore, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was compiled not less than 5,000 years ago. Mahabharat was compiled before Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and the Puranas were compiled before Mahabharata. That is an estimation of the date of completion of the different Vedic literatures. The synopsis of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was given before the detailed description and the instruction of Narada. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the science for following the path of Nirviti Marga, the path of Parvati. Is it Parvriti Marga? Was condemned by Narada. That is the neutral inclination for all conditioned souls. The theme of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the cure of the materialistic disease of the human being, or stopping completely the pangs of material existence.
But even though the compilation was done 5,000 years ago, all the stories were 2 billion years ago, right? Only the compilation of the Bhagavatam was 5,000 years ago. But the stories in every canto is older
Yes,
than
they
2 billion
happen.
years.
Yes, Prabhu.
I think, Prabhu, the books were actually compiled because we were actually starting to decline, in human consciousness. Like, we started to forget and everything. So the books were actually compiled for us, like the Kali Yuga people, because Vyasadeva, to compile the 4 books, he saw that, he needs to separate the Vedas, because he saw that our mind will be so degraded, Prabhu. We will forget now and then because of anxieties, miseries,
Yes, Prabhu.
Also,
That is
maybe the Gurukuls are perishing, like mono Gurukuls would be there. So how it will receive from oral, like in the form of like voice and from the Guru.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu,
If you tell me
what I
100,
know,
even if you
you
sing
can
me 100 times, I won't remember one verse.
Yes,
yeah.
bro. We can't do anything about our brains. Like we are Kali
Oh,
Yuga
I think
brains.
that's where Prabhu Lord Krishna will come and incarnate himself, and he will bring back Dharma. If we forget everything as a whole, all the Gurukuls perishes,
Yes, Prabhu. Don't stay here by waiting like that.
Like how? Like, when everything perishes. Because I heard that Srila Prabhupada said there will we will not have milk, grains, everything will just go at the
Yes,
end.
bro.
Soon it
Mother
will.
Earth will stop giving everything.
Yes, Prabhu. Now, because everyone is preparing, they're playing those zombie games on their computer and everything. They're preparing, and soon they will be playing the game outside.
Yes, Prabhu.
Preparing time.
You remind me of the Matrix.
Yes, Prabhu. I don't want to be there, like fighting with the others.
Prabhu, can it happen like this? Like as we are here hearing that people are just polluting earth and like by growing the farmers and like whatever they are giving in soil and they say soil pollution. So in that way, the nutritional quality of the soil will degrade, and with time it will come to a point that it can't just produce. And also people will be more and more modernized, and who works as farmers, we will go work in tech jobs and business, this, that things. Maybe these things may happen.
No, Prabhu. The demigods won't give anything, even if they try to grow perfectly, even if the soil is perfect. The demigods just won't give because there won't be devotees chanting. So they will have to
The
fight.
goddess of earth.
Okay. So if
And
devotees will be there 1 in a million, then also they will give. But
yes,
when no devotee will be left, then it will stop. Then
yeah,
people will start eating one another.
Then Hanuman will leave.
the fruits and all will be so bad tasting that they don't want to eat them anymore. So they want to eat different bugs and all these worms.
They will
And
become cannibal and all.
yes,
All will
Prabhu.
become demon.
Yes, Prabhu.
You remind me, Semi Prabhu, that the moon is the actual one that is making our fruits to be, I don't know what do you call this?
Juicy, I think.
Yeah, they
Juicy,
actually, they give
plumpy.
them this, something like that. I forgot the word.
It will
Yeah,
be
it is there in
people will
words.
live like there will be like little kids only. People will live to like 15 years old, 20 years old, then they will be
Yeah, you just
like
can't imagine.
yes, so just when their beard starts to grow, then they think, oh, this is our old man.
Problem means before even appearing of the Lord, Mother Earth will prepare to that, like you go off, you get rid of me, you demoniac people. No devotees are left, and you are all burden on me.
Yes, Prabhu.
Then Lord will come and he will finish everything.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, Haribol, now let's go to 6 Astakam prayers because I need to cook something.
Karibu chapati.
No, Prabhu. Some pasta today.
Oh,
Cheto darpanamarjanam pavamaha. Where are we?
Davagni nirvapanam Shreya Kaivarchandrika Vitaranam.
Chandrika Vitaranam.
Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamritasvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Namnamakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpitanya Mitas Maranena Kalaha Etadrishitava Kripan Bhagavan Mamapi Durodaeva Medrisham Yahaijina Nuragraha.
Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manatena Kirtaniya Sadahari.
Nadanam Najanam. You can continue, Prabhu.
Yes, Danam Najanam Sundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kami Yama Janmani Janmani Shre Bhavata Bhakti Rahita Kitvai.
Ainandatanu
Oh,
Param Me Bhavam Buddho Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadarsam Vichintaya.
Nayanam Galadashrudaraya Vadanam Gadgadaya Gira Pulakairina Chitam Vapukada Tovanam Grahane Bhavishyati.
Yugayatam Nimeshena Chakshusha Pravrishayatam Shunyayatam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahename.
Asisleva Padara Tampinastuma Madarshanam Maramam Hatam Karutva Yata Tatava Vidatulan Pato Madpranana Tastusa Eva Narpanaha. Glories to the Shri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses
Haribol, you
The
can.
heart from millions.
Glories to the Shri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. Oh, son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal savior, yet somehow or other I've fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the Etrams at your lotus feet. Haribo.
Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. Hey, Prabhu, after saying Haribol, I just remembered Vivek Prabhu.
Oh,
I
very
know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Sheesh.
Shri Sikastakam ki jai.
Jai.
Ahu Janma Kali Yada Shravana Kirtana Tabu Tapa I forgot it there from there, Prabhu. Tabutana, Paya Krishna, Pade, Prema, Dana. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, he will not get the love of Godhead. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. The first one, to blaspheme the devotees who've dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma to be equal to independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
To disobey the orders of the spiritual master.
Yo! The fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures. Oh, to blaspheme the Vedic literatures or literatures in preference to the Vedic version. I'm used to that old one, Prabhu.
To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be in imagination.
To give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord.
To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda.
Haribu.
To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offensive to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema, Haribol. Vancha. Okay, but then I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone just like desired trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Vancha kalpa tarupyascha kripa
Kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Haribo.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Paramhamsa Ashtotara Sata Sri Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much.
Tell me, Prabhu, I actually know all of it, but then I'm actually shy, you know.
Okay, tomorrow you can chant everything.
Haribo.
Okay, now I will cook something. Thank you so much for your association, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu, for education.
At the end, they gave me Apple Music for €4 for 3 months, so I got the Apple Music for 3 months. So after 3 months, I will try the Spotify.
Prabhu, can I ask small